Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm sure it was.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Present.
Freeholder Estrada. Freeholder Granados. Freeholder Hudak.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Present.
Freeholder Wright.
Here.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Here.
And Chairman Jallo.
Here.
Chairman, you have 8 freeholders present.
Thank you. Can you please lead us in a prayer and a salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk of the board, may you please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
The Chair wishes to announce that pursuant to requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated, Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2015, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2015 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2015 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you. We will approve the communication at tonight's regular meeting. At this time, it's my pleasure to call upon the Vocational Technical School Superintendent, Peter Capadis, for a presentation to the board.
Thank you, Freeholder Chairman. Just a few words before we get to the resolution. I want to just thank the freeholders once for their support of our school. They support us financially and back us up 100% everywhere we go. They have a soft spot in their heart for the youth of Union County, as evidenced by the support of our school. The one thing they didn't know as of yet, and it's news now, is that Union County is the first county in the state of New Jersey to open up the Recovery High School. High school is designed to help students, young men and women, who have fallen into trouble with drugs and alcohol. So we are now open, we have students enrolled, we have teaching students, all from the support of our county freeholders. And we thank you for your support because you're doing a wonderful thing for the youth of Union County. Again, the first in Union County, the first in the state of New Jersey. There's only about 5 in the nation, and we're very proud to be able to offer that service to the youth of Union. In addition to the wonderful schools who are rated in the top 200% of the nation, not one of them rated number 2 in the nation by Newsweek. So we're very proud of our accomplishments, what we do for academically, and what we do for those children in need. So thank you for your support, Freeholder.
Thank you. Stick around. At this time, I'm going to ask Freeholder Mirabella and Vice Chairman Bruce Bergen to come up and join me for a presentation. Good evening. Shop try it again. Apparently there's no one in this room. I'm talking to myself. Good evening. All right. That's a little bit better. I'm always happy to see the young people in this room, especially the young people from our VOTEC schools and technical schools, because of the great work that you do at the schools. We're so proud of you at the Freeholder Board, and this day of the year where you guys come is very special to us all, and we're very happy to see you and honor today the CTE month. I'm going to let the superintendent talk briefly about it and give the resolutions to those students, those of you who participate in this. So we're very happy that you're here today, and I'm going to give it over to the superintendent.
Thank you again, Freeholder Chairman. And if I would invite all our students up here to take part in this resolution. Students, come on up. And while I have the opportunity, while they're coming up, I'm also very proud of a number of people in this room in my administrative team. And if I could introduce them to everybody, because they do the yeoman's work. I just sit in the ivory tower and watch over what they're doing. And they really do a masterful job. The Assistant Superintendent, Gwendolyn Ryan, is here. Principal of the Magnet High School, Frank Esposito. Say hello, Frank. Principal of our Academy for Information Technology, Mrs. Gelinella is here. My teaching supervisor for the Performing Arts, Kelly Jackson, is here. My principal of Academy for Allied Health, Walter Smolinski, is here, along with teaching supervisor Kevin Doherty. And I miss Judy Orrock as our teaching supervisor at the Information Technology School. Those are our wonderful staff. Sorry. And I missed the biggest guy in the room, Mr. Lerner, the principal of UC Tech, and our teaching supervisor, Rob McCurley. Did I miss anybody else? No. And just nationally, this month has been set aside for Career and Technical Education Month, just to honor those institutions, the 21 we have in the state of New Jersey and all those throughout the country, regarding the wonderful work they do in the career and technical education, how important that is for the youth of America today, whether we think we're going to college or not. Technical education is really something that's special, because even if you do go to college, it gives you something else you can depend on, things you can do on your own, and it's really a beautiful thing. We're so happy what we do with education in Union County and around the nation. So, Freeholder,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to say a couple of quick words. And I'm delighted every year that the students of our vocational schools come to visit us, and not only because they bring flowers and cookies. For a couple of years when I was an early term freeholder, I was able to get away with telling my wife that I picked her up flowers on the way home. But when they come home, it'll be the VOTEC was there tonight, right? But obviously, I'm enormously proud, as the rest of the Freeholder Board is, and for me, it's just particularly rewarding when you have a vision for a career academies and a school, and then you put the right leadership in place, not only our principals and teaching supervisors, but this great superintendent, to see that vision executed, and the opportunity that we're providing for students across Union County is probably among, if not the most rewarding part of my public service here as a freeholder. So I'm delighted that you're here. Thank you for all your efforts. Mostly women, a couple of guys in the middle there, but you guys are doing a great job doing all your work, getting ready for finals coming up not too long, and I'm just delighted you're here. So thanks, Mr. Chairman, for a couple of minutes.
We also have another resolution here for the future farmers of America. An agricultural education provides a strong foundation for the youth of America for successful career and a lifetime of informed choices in the global agriculture. It also provides a foundation for the future of the food, fiber, and natural resource systems. And the FFA promotes premier leadership, personal growth, and career success amongst its members. And whereas agricultural education and FFA ensure a steady supply of young professionals to meet the growing demands in science, business, and technology of agriculture, and the FFA model is learning to do, doing to listen, earning to live, living to serve, gives direction of purpose to these students who take an active role in succeeding in agricultural education. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby designates the week of February 21st, 2015 through February 28th, 2015 as Future Farmers of America Week. Good work, guys.
Thank you, Freeholder Chairman. And with us tonight, we have Bonnie Baldassar, who is our horticultural teacher and the advisor for the Future Farmers of America team. We have Margaret Hopkins, who's the president of our group. And we have Aaron Etienne, who's filling in for our vice president, but he's a winner of the growing. You want to say something, Bonnie? I know you do.
Aaron is a first-year member, and this year in October, he was selected as the Growing Leader Award for his participation in the conference at the LEAD conference. And Margaret was part of the fruits and vegetable team in 2014 that placed first in the state. So Union County had its first team first in the state. And then this year, Aaron was on the turf management event with also Alex Maribel's son, and they placed fourth in the state. And Alex was seventh overall. So we're proud of all of them. Thank you.
I'll tell them you said so. Your superintendent suggests that you all go home and do your homework, so feel free to leave. You can stay and watch the rest of the Freeholder meeting. But right before, and go out that door. At this time, I'd like to call up Freeholder Wright to join me, along with Freeholder Hudak. Please join us as we present the resolution this year, as we do every year, to the St. Patrick's Day Committee. This is a parade that we attend. We attend every year. We always joke that this is probably going to be one of the biggest parades in the state soon, if it's not already. It's a wonderful time, and we're happy to have members of the committee here today. Wow, look at all these familiar faces. I was like doing this again every year. I just did an interview with you and one with you. We're happy to have our friends here. I'm going to give these resolutions. I'm not going to read them as they're long because of the great history of this event, but I just want to congratulate the Grand Marshal this year, who is none other than our president of Union County College, Dr. Margaret McMenamin. The General Chair, Tony Brennan. And the Parade Adjutant, is that how you say it? Adjutant, right, Kathleen Holmes. And I'll let you introduce the rest of your organization.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Assistant Adjutant Jessica Cunningham, First Vice Chair Carrie Rickey, our only treasurer in the history of the parade, Pat Scanlon, Sergeant-at-Arms Harry Capco, 2011 General Chair Mary Lou Lenahan, and our outstanding parade counsel, Mr. Robert Lenahan.
We congratulate you on the work that you do, and we thank you for all that you do. So we're going to present these resolutions and take some nice pictures. And thank you also for the, the soda bread. Thank you very much.
I'm a quarter Irish. No credit. You are, yeah. You like Arabella, you get no credit.
Mr. Chairman, thank you again. There are two other individuals who I neglected to introduce. They are both employees of Union County, but they have made great contributions to our St. Patrick's Day Parade over the years. The gentleman taking the photos is the General Chair of the 2010 Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade, Jim Lowney. And the lady that helps the freeholders quite a bit with so many things, our General Chair from 2014, Kathy Noonan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Here from our Grand Marshal this year?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that I speak for everyone from the parade committee and certainly everyone in Union County that we're very proud of this parade. It is the best parade, St. Patrick's Day parade in the state of New Jersey. And this year we will have as a guest the general chairman of the St. Patrick's Day Parade from New York City joining us, and this is the only New Jersey parade that he will be attending, and that's thanks to some work of our general chairman. So we appreciate the support of everyone in the county and are inviting everyone to join us on that 55 and sunny on March 14th. So please come. Thank you.
There's going to be a lot of people there, I can say already, because Dr. McMenamin usually brings out half of Union County College, and now that she's the Grand Marshal, I'm sure the other half will come. So thank you all so very much. Bye-bye.
Hey, Bob. How are you? Good.
All right, now we'll go into the regular agenda. We'll start with the first assistant prosecutor, Tim Eisenhower.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Prosecutor's Office has 2 resolutions on for your consideration. I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
Anyone? Fielder Carter.
In reference to number 1, this is something that you do year over year, correct?
Yes,
How much was spent last year?
excuse me, I don't have the numbered agenda in front of me. Number 1 being the Megan's Law or the professional services contract.
Professional services.
Professional services was this year we're seeking $100,000. Last year it was 100. We actually expended 102 last year, so we're pretty much right on the mark. We're asking for up to 100. Usually it's broken down primarily between experts in homicide cases, child abuse cases where you need a mental health expert, whether a psychologist, psychiatrist, forensic psychologist to testify. Probably a third of it goes to transcripts for just proceedings that are on appeal that we're pretty much mandated to pay for.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Office of the Board of Elections, Dennis Kobitz, Administrator.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The Board of Elections has 3 resolutions on the agenda this evening. Try to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Fielder Marabella.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Dennis, number 1, I see that's going through January of 2016. Is there a reason why we're extending into next year?
Well, we've always had, for quite a few years, we've had the contracts when we went out for the RFQs to go to the end of January in case there's a special election in January. It's been a long time, but it really started when we had the extra presidential in February. So when that happened, we extended the contract. So since we do a yearly contract, I've already talked with the county counsel's office, and next year when we go out for the RFQs, we would be looking to do it for 11 months and take it back to the calendar year.
That's what seems to make sense to me. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Administrative Services, Norman Albert.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. The department has 7 resolutions on for your consideration. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you have.
Sure. I have a question. I'll start with number 1. Are these the only programs that we give reimbursements for?
I believe that they're I don't believe that's the case. These are the only ones from my department.
Okay. I thought at one point we may have been talking about doing more. You know, so these are only in public administration,
Right.
or so there's none for like if an employee is working in finance and they go get a master's degree in finance.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll check on that.
Okay. Just curious. Any other questions? Fielder Mirabella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So along the same lines, in number one, Director, how many people does this cover? I see it's for partial reimbursement.
Yeah, it varies. It varies from year to year. We've had, I believe, we've had as many as 10 in recent years. 5 to 10, maybe.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cornerstone Hospital, Michael Fleming, Acting Administrator.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Cornerstone has 2 resolutions for your consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Any questions? Board? Anything? Is there a savings in number one as a result of her becoming an employee or of Cornerstone? Of Cornerstone.
Well, she would be an employee. As far as the savings, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, let me ask the question
Yeah.
differently. We're amending the resolution 2014-709. What
Right.
was that resolution for?
For contract.
For contract.
She was under contract.
So now we're
She's an employee now.
she's going from contract to employee. So what's the
She's-
benefit of that?
She's the chief psychiatrist. We needed a chief psychiatrist, and she accepted the position.
So was the original contract in 2014 for a chief?
No. We had a chief, and she resigned.
So at this point, the contract position is vacant, or we need someone to fill it?
It's eliminated, and we have someone in the wings that hasn't quite come on board yet.
So we do need someone to fill it. So it's not a savings at this point. We're just waiting to fill the
Exactly.
position that she left.
Exactly, and the monies left over from this contract will be applied to the next.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Corrections, Brian Reardon.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. We have one resolution on for your consideration this evening from the jail. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Economic Development.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Chairman, freeholders. Economic Development has 6 items for your consideration. Prepared to answer any questions you may have. If I can point out, number 2 and number 3 are both reductions to the original contracts. One for $9,600 plus, and the other one for $109,000 plus.
Any questions from the board? Fielder Carter.
For the one that seems to be 109,000, and I truly love reductions, especially when we're dealing in change orders. But what is really the big cause of it being so large of a reduction? Is it within 10%? Is it a 10% reduction within the contract? That, because we're allowed to go up 20%, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What percentage is that of the original contract, and why are we getting such a reduction?
I'll ask Tom Minio, our engineer, to come up, but I'll let you know that one of the reasons for the large, because I asked the same question, one of the reasons for the large return is because they had anticipated bigger problems than they actually encountered during the project.
Yes, that's it. The overall project was 1.215 million, and because of the unknowns, because what we were doing, this is a facility that had a facade made out of materials that were
the terracotta materials that were covered with cement, and they were built way back in the 30s, and they were starting to fall off. We had put netting up there the prior year, and this is to replace it and make it safe. And due to the unknowns, we put a $200,000 item if and where directed as the uncovered things, and it's a lot less than we anticipated. We only used about 91,000. So that's the reason. This kind of a job, we do put a little extra contingency because of all the unknowns that are going to be anticipated.
Any other questions from that department? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Finance, B.B. Teller.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. The Department of Finance has two resolutions for your consideration this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Just for the benefit of the public, because I know it probably come up during the regular meeting, can you just tell us what's going on with these two?
Sure. The first resolution is authorizing the cancellation of $14.7 million in bonds that essentially the projects are either completed or did not take off. And so as a result, to just clean up our books and just remove these from our debt capacity, this resolution is required. The second resolution is essentially authorizing the execution of an escrow deposit for the $6 million worth of debt associated with Runnels Hospital. My apologies, sir. It's $6 million at the outset, and since we've made payments, the escrow deposit is actually $4.3 million. But our budget, since we've authorized the temporary budget, we've made some payments in March, and we're scheduled to make payments we made payments in February, and we anticipate making payments in March prior to the execution of the escrow deposit. So the actual resolution is 4.3, but it deals with the $6 million of outstanding debt authorized and issued.
Thank you. Bilderberger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this the entirety of the outstanding debt from Runnels?
Yes. The issued component, yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. Department of Human Services, Director Frank Guzzo.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The Department of Human Services has 7 resolutions on for your consideration, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Freeholder Hudak.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Director. I wanted to ask about number 2 and number 3. My first question is, these funds, are these grant-funded programs or are these county-funded programs?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, this is money directly from the State Department of Probation, and parole rather, so it's state funding.
Okay. And there was an increased demand for the various services. Is there any particular reason for that, or it just happens to be one of those things?
Through you again, Mr. Chairman, this seems a little bit convoluted, but what happens is that there are 76 individuals enrolled for the level of service within this program, and there's an estimation on what types of services may be needed at the time that they're enrolled. So what we had were mental health services and housing services, and as individuals came back from state prison on parole and came into the program, mental health services, while needed, were needed at a lesser degree than where housing assistance was. So what this does is it takes money from Trinitas, which provides mental health services, and puts the same amount of money into the Urban League, which provides housing assistance.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Chairman. I appreciate it.
Any other questions from the board? Just to be clear, 4 through 7 is just changing the name of the YMCA.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Department of Parks and Recreation, Ronald Zuber.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Freeholders. Department of Parks and Recreation has 2 items on tonight's agenda, and I'll try to answer any questions you have.
With number 2, What was that resolution about, just from my recollection?
The senior, Mr. Knapp, passed away over the winter. The name was in his son, the business was in his son's name. It's now back doing business as.
What was the purpose of the original resolution?
Name.
The service that is being provided.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Straw and Hay. I'm sorry about that.
I didn't hear you.
Straw and Hay.
Straw and hay. Okay, thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
Any other questions from the board? Freeholder Estrada.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Director, number one, is that less than last year, or is it the same amount, or is it more?
Freeholders, more than last year. We have the potential of adding 3 Summer Arts Festival events to our agenda, which we usually have 8.
So we're going up to 8 instead of 5?
Right. There is a weekend. The cost for these concerts cost more than on weekends and holidays than our regular Wednesday night concerts. So it's a little bit more than our regular cost.
And what does that fee include?
Fee includes booking of the talent. It includes everything to do with the stage, from lighting to sound to power to the audio and technicians that come with it. It comes with someone from This Is It Productions as a liaison to any of the county or band's needs while the events are going on.
So it includes the talent, the cost of the talent?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, seeing no one, thank you, Director. Department of Public Safety, Director Moran.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Department of Public Safety has 5 resolutions on for your consideration. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Freeholder Carter.
Director Moran, can you just give us an overview of the first and second one?
Certainly. Number 1 is just amending a previous resolution that we had been approved for the board to contract with 2 per diem pathologists. Dr. Sheikh has recommended a 3rd pathologist. The dollar amount hasn't changed. That would be spread over the 3 pathologists instead of 2. These positions are very hard to fill, not only with the educational experience, the practical experience, but for a person has to have, I think a better term, the chutzpah to go to court and be able to testify and hold himself in a court of law. So Dr. Sheikh has recommended that this person be appointed.
And by having, what is the benefit of having the 3rd one? Is just the matter of convenience because of the fact that they're contracted and the work and all that they do and timing of it?
During the budget process, 2 years ago, we reduced the number of full-time pathologists that we have, so we rely very heavily on his per diem pathologist, and to have 3 there it just helps us cover the time. Thank you.
Freeholder Berg. Vice Chairman Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to be clear, these are on a as-needed basis, that we call them in if we need them. If one's not available, we go to another one. Is that how it works?
Yes, they cover when Dr. Sheikh is not available. They are on call for a period of time, so we're sure that we will get a pathologist in case there is a homicide case or a suspicious death case. So we have a pathologist on call 24/7.
Number 3, where we have the coordinated emergency management, is that always for a 3-year term?
It is. It's by state statute. The board's required to pass a resolution appointing somebody to that position for that 3 years, and it's the same for each municipality that has an emergency management coordinator.
Thank you. Anyone else on the board? Thank you, Director. Department of Public Works and Facilities.
Good evening, Freeholder Chairman and members of the board. Department of Public Works and Facilities has 2 resolutions on for your consideration this evening. I'll try to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you very much. Office of the County Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Office of the County Council has 5 items on tonight's agenda, and I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions from the board on the items from County Council? Seeing none, thank you, County Council. This time I'll ask, we're on to freeholder-sponsored resolutions. I'll ask if there are any additional resolutions to add. Seeing none, I will move on. County Council, we have the need to go into the executive session, and you make a statement relative to same.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, public body may go into executive session for the purpose of discussing certain enumerated subjects. This board now wishes to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing attorney-client privilege communication and discussion of potential contract negotiations relative to the Millennium Strategies. The minutes of the executive session shall be separated from the minutes of the open public session. The minutes of the executive session, redacted as appropriate and necessary, shall be available in approximately 30 days. The clerk of the board shall retain the original minutes until such time as the confidential limitations have been removed, at which time they shall be made available. Upon the affirmative vote of a majority of the members present, the board may retire to executive session. Upon the board's return, it may take formal action on matters discussed at the subsequent regular meeting immediately following the agenda meeting.
Thank you, County Council. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion was made by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada. Yes. Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Aye.
Chairman Jallo.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. We're in executive.
Because we'll have the regular meeting. We'll come back and then we'll adjourn.
But if people...
Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Carter. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
And Chairman Jallo.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. County Council, do you have a statement from the executive session?
Yes, I do. Excuse me. I do, Mr. Chairman. As a result of the discussions had in executive session, there will be an additional item added to the Department of Economic Development's agenda, which will be a resolution authorizing the county manager to enter into a contract with Millennium Strategies for an amount not to exceed $30,000.
Thank you.
Welcome.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Seconded?
Second.
All right. A motion was made by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Close the agenda meeting. Clerk, how much time do we
Chairman, if I
need?
could have 5 minutes, I had floated 2 agendas, so I just want to make sure I have the right agendas out for the public.
Okay, very good. So about 5 minutes, we'll reconvene for the regular meeting. I'll call this regular meeting to order. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Here.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present.
Freeholder Granados. Freeholder Hudak.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella. Freeholder Wright.
Present.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Present.
Chairman Jallo.
Here.
Chairman, you have 8 freeholders present.
Thank you. Clerk of the board, may you please lead us in a prayer and salute to the flag.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk of the board, can you please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act?
The chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated, Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2015, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2015 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2015 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you. We have communications. May I have a motion to approve the communications?
So moved. Second.
Wow. Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella. Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
And Chairman Jallo.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. We have an ordinance for introduction. Clerk of the board, please read the ordinance by title.
Ordinance number 763-2015, an ordinance to amend the laws of Union County, Administrative Code and Policies and General Legislation by amending Chapter 2, Article 4, fees for recreation facilities for the year 2015.
At this time, I'll ask Policy Chairman, Vice Chairman Bergen, to move ordinance number 763-2015.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I now move the introduction of ordinance number 763-2015 for first reading and authorize the clerk of the board to advertise same in accordance with the law. The final reading and public hearing are scheduled for March 12, 2015.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Vice Chairman Bergen and seconded by Freeholder Carter. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
And Chairman Jallo.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 8 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. The meeting is now open to the public for the purpose of commenting on resolutions being offered for adoption only. Kindly state your name and town of residence for the record and the resolution to which you are referring, and adhere to the 5-minute time limit, which will be indicated by the lights above. Yellow light means to speed up as lights in traffic, and red means to stop. After the red light, I'll ask you to please yield the floor back over to the chairman, and we will proceed in that fashion. So the first person who would like to speak, please approach the microphone. Seeing, all right.
You don't have to.
Good evening, Chairman Jolly, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. On number 156, page 2 at the top, I have the draft, but I also looked at the revision 2 that came out. But anyway, you had $1.3 million originally for the Elizabethtown Gas Company supply commercial gas, and now it's $800,000. To me, it sounds like a $500,000 savings. Could somebody explain that? Just keep going.
Yes.
158, a little below there. This Is It Productions of the Music Fest fame, but I guess you guys are still hot and heavy with it. But $95,000. You explained the scope. I understood it well. My question is there going to be any other expenses for these Union County Summer Arts Festival that the taxpayers are going to have to cover? Number 161 on that same page, and Director Taylor probably could answer this one, but it was cleaning up some bonds for $14.7 million. I know there was a previous ordinance of a month ago, 2 months ago, there had to be like 20, 30 bonds that were cleaned up. Is this the same one? This is the money that's finally coming out of it? Or is it something new? And that was an ordinance, that other one. On page 4, number 176, Royal Printing's getting $110,000. I understood Director Kovitz's explanation. He's saying it's going to shrink down next year to 11 months. Does that then get apportioned down to about $100,000? Is it $1 per month, or is it the same amount? Or forecasting to be the same amount? Page 5, it's commissioners, adding Norm Albert, Bibi Taylor, William Reyes to the commissioners. I'm just wondering, how many commissioners are there on this reinsurance, on this self-insurance fund? Page 6, number 189, to Hill Construction. That's a decrease of $100,000. Freeholder Carter was excited about it. So am I. I enjoy decreases also. But Linda Carter made a statement that normally 10% could be added without issue. But to tell you the truth, I remember a couple of years ago, NETA had a family court contract that went from $1.9 million to $2.7. That was like almost a 50% increase, well above the 10%. You guys just voted on it without any question or anything. I don't know if there was a legal failure in that one, but that's a comment. Number 191, Matrix. That Matrix is getting $20,000. They actually, in the last 2 years, donated $25,000 to the Union County machine, let's call it. Most of it was actually to Lesniak. So I don't, and I know he controls your puppet strings. So I guess you have no say on this one. Number 197, Union County Improvement Authority is getting $57,000 for a total of $407,000. 2013, they had a memorandum of understanding for $283,000. 214, that was then increased to $350,000. Here we are with another one increasing to $407,000. I mean, what is going on? I mean, I'd really like to understand. I mean, Stender now has a job at the UCIA. Is that part of her salary going there? Somebody's going to have to explain that one, because something doesn't sound right there. Page 7, 198 and 190 and 2000, 198 and 2000. Just another comment. You're giving legal firms some money. Weber Dowd is getting 10 grand. Florio Perucci's getting 20 grand, a total 40 grand. They donated, Weber Dowd, $10,000 to the Union County machine and their cronies in 4 years, and Florio did $8,000 in political donations for 4 years. And I guess that's it. Those are comments, but I'd like the questions answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you kindly. 156, Charles Chirafisi. Yes.
Thank you.
The question was, is there a savings from the $800,000 and the previous amount?
Yes, under further review with our consultant, we realized that this was a more accurate figure, so that's why it was reduced, $500,000.
All right, thank you.
Well,
With regard to number 158, Director Zuber. The question was whether there were additional expenses that are not included in this amount.
No, Mr. Chairman, no additional expenses.
161, Director Taylor.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the prior ordinance that was adopted was to repurpose existing bonds to expand the description. It has no correlation to the resolution that was proposed this evening.
Kindly. 176 was a question with regard to whether there's a savings with Royal Printing and what the reasoning, whether there would be a savings with 11 months.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, no, there would not. The $110,000 is for actually the primary, the general, and one special election. If there were to be another election special in January, we would have to be in front of this board again asking for more money. But that 110 only covers right now the primary, general, and if there is one special, for example, Hillside, we'll probably have a runoff in December.
Thank you. And then there was a question as to self-insurance, the number of commissioners.
The answer is 3, the members listed.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on resolutions being offered for adoption? All right, seeing no one else, I'll formally close this portion of the meeting. Can I have a motion to adopt resolutions 2015-155 through 2015-216?
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Kowalski, seconded by Freeholder Mirabella. Clerk of the board, may I have a roll call?
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
An abstention on number 203, a no on number 204, and the rest yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Clerk, I will abstain on 179, aye to the rest.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella. Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bergen.
Abstain as to 2015-166, 167, 168, and 169, and yes as to all remaining resolutions.
And Freeholder Jallo.
Aye.
Freeholder, you have 8 votes in the affirmative for all resolutions, with the exception of 7 votes in the affirmative with abstentions on resolutions 2015-166, 167, 168, 169, 179, and 203. And then you have 7 votes in the affirmative with 1 no vote with resolution 2015-204.
Thank you. The meeting is now open to the public for the purpose of commenting on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the county. Kindly state your name and town of residence for the record and adhere to the 5-minute time limit.
Tina Renna, Cranford. The Union County Improvement Authority is getting some more negative attention following Director Sullivan's writing himself stipend checks. The authority was created by the freeholders, and its board is made up mainly of county employees, some of whom are here tonight. Since they don't air their meetings, I'm sure the public would like an update of what's going on with Daniel Sullivan's new assistant director, Linden Stender's ongoing scandal. There is no reason why someone here can't speak to it. In fact, you should all be concerned and have some closing comments about it tonight. According to an open request, Linden Stender has no employment contract. Can you tell the public what the county's personnel procedures are? Is it easier to fire an employee who doesn't have a contract? Is there a probationary period? Stender was hired effective February 4th, and on February 19th, the Star-Ledger first reported the story that her husband got help from Habitat for Humanity, a nonprofit group that assists low-income homeowners, and he was assisted in demolishing a shore home that was damaged by Hurricane Sandy that had been purchased for nearly $500,000. First reports, and this made international news, quoted Linden Stender as stating she had nothing to do with her husband's dealing with the nonprofit. Then later reports quoted an architect as confirming Linden Stender was indeed involved with the plans to build a new luxury home on the shore property. And Habitat for Humanity stated that Linden Stender showed up at one point and became irate and yelled and screamed at the people at that meeting. "You are not allowing me to build my dream home." Stenger also was reported to have stated, "I can make a phone call to Manasquan," where the couple expected this nonprofit, which helps the homeless and indigent, to build their dream shore house. What are her credentials for this position? Last I knew of Stenger, besides being an assemblywoman, she had a county job for about $70,000, where she was supervising volunteers who were working for free at Runnels Hospital. She left that job a few years ago. Did she go on to earn an engineering degree? Finance, maybe? Did she pick up construction management skills somewhere? How is she qualified to oversee the financing and the actual construction of projects and the hundreds of millions of dollars? If she treated a nonprofit agency poorly in a personal manner, how is she going to hold her composure and act professionally when conducting the taxpayers' business in dealing with construction projects? Habitat for Humanity has confirmed that they are going after the Stengers for the $11,000 cost of demolishing their home, and released a statement regarding the rebuilding of the Stengers' dream home. Habitat for Humanity refused to allow itself to be taken advantage of. It continued and immediately withdrew from the project. It's also been reported that the Attorney General's office is investigating the matter. In a corporate world, an executive can be terminated for conduct unbecoming an officer. Explain tonight what you are doing about Linda Stenger and her $90,000 salary. Perhaps there is a quick fix, because this embarrassment to the Improvement Authority isn't going away, and it's ultimately your responsibility. You appoint the board, they report to you. How are the taxpayers supposed to have any confidence in the Union County Improvement Authority? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Hi, my name is Barbara Majeski, and I live in Rahway, and I'm here to state my views on the stadium going into Rahway Park. I was probably one of the first people that really took notice of the mayor stating in a newspaper that he wished to put that stadium in the park. The park does not belong to the city of Rahway. It belongs to the county, and it is used by everyone in the surrounding towns. Granted, Rahway is probably the only city that doesn't have a glamorous football field like the new one in Linden or Jonathan Dayton and all the other surrounding towns that have really nice football stadiums. But I've lived in Rahway for 47 and a half years, and that stadium has provided those children the ability to play football. I mean, what do they want to build a stadium there for 5 or 7 home games? Granted, I don't have a problem if they want to put a track field in Rahway in the park, but I mean, I emailed Mr. Hudak's office, and every council member in Rahway, and not one person had the decency to even respond to an email when I found this out. Our mayor states that, oh, every town will be envious of us. The problem is our mayor is envious of everyone else because they already have those stadiums for their football players. But for 5 or 7 home games, it is not worth destroying the peace and serenity that's in our park. I use the park all the time. I like to go there and read. My husband and I walk. That park is only a matter of maybe 1.5 miles in circumference, not large enough to entail. If you take Linden Stadium and put it in the middle of Rahway Park, that's how big that stadium is going to be. Between the track field, the stands, and the concession stands, the next thing they'll want to do is take away more park for parking, because there is not going to be any parking. There is nowhere to accommodate all the people that are going to be coming for track meets or the football games. There's only 2 entrances in, 2 entrances out. They're both single lanes. There's no traffic light. People on Valley Road are not happy about this stadium going in because of the traffic that's going to be on their road. The people that face the park, their backyards are going to be one loud noise with high beam lights on all the time. I work for someone, and she is adjacent to Linden's stadium, and was told that, oh, those lights will be shut off. You don't have to worry about them. She says they shine in her bedroom every night when the stadium lights are on. And she says nobody shuts them off. You used to be able to walk around Linden Stadium to do the track just as a walker. Those stadiums are now locked under lock and key with big black fences, no trespassing signs. And that's the same thing that's going to happen in Rawway Park, the people that come to use there on the weekend. You see people coming in from Perth Amboy and the other surrounding towns. They have their own private soccer games that they play, which are no longer going to be, because there won't be any field left. There's wildlife that's in there. We walk at night. We've walked in the fog, and you see the deer come out, and they're out in the field. And you're going to consume this whole park with this football stadium that we don't need. There's no traffic light on St. George Avenue. A 10-year-old was hit by a car there one day because there is no traffic light. You come across from River Road, the lane goes there, and it directs you to go right across the street to go into the park, but there's nothing there to prevent you from getting hit. People on River Road have already complained about the parking situation. I'm only 2 blocks from the park, and I know that parking will be a problem. They'll be coming down to my street also, and not only that, but also the noise that's going to accommodate this. And I know probably none of you maybe even use the park, but that's the only peace and quiet we have in the town, and it does not belong to the city of Rawway. It belongs to Westfield and Linden and Winfield Park and Cranford and all their surrounding towns. It just does not belong to our mayor alone. And if you want to invest money, millions of dollars, invest it in fixing the roads that are a mess, as opposed to putting it into another football stadium. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
John Berry of Kenilworth. Just 2 points. First, on that Rawway Stadium, this may be conjecture, but I'm thinking that just based on past experience, that it's something that the Union County Improvement Authority wants to make money off of, specifically Dakota's Fitzpatrick, that gets $1 million a year in fees for something. So the more that's built through the UCIA, the more money they get, and somebody said, let's build a stadium, Rawway. I don't know how crowded they are. I mean, whether Rawway will bring a lot of people in there, but there's a reason for that. Outside of football related, who knows, they might be building something in Scotts Plains too if they get stuff there. But it's basically just for the Union County Improvement Authority. What I wanted to follow up is something that Tina Renner might have missed, and as far as this whole Linda Stender thing, the thing that bothered me when I saw the article was that this is in Politiker.com, NJ.com, whatever. They erroneously reported that she was going to leave completely, not wait till her end, and that there was a deal between to allow her to keep her Union County Improvement Authority job. Now, I'm not speaking to how she works at the job, what it's for, whatever. That's fine. She's been there a month. She might know how to work the door now. What I'm pretty much saying is there was no UCIA board meeting. It was 1 day or 2 days, and yet somebody made a deal or could have made a deal to let her keep her job without so it kind of, if I were on the UCIA board or even here, if you say you're running this kind of, what, unless you were consulted. If you were consulted, no, please, enlighten me. But to have, let's see, I guess Jerry Green just saying, I'll do this, I think it belittles everybody here. I mean, really, would you, this is your responsibility. If things mess up, everybody's on you. And here, if it's true, then Jerry Green just tells you what to do. I mean, I'd be insulted, but.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Good evening, Chairman Jalla, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. I guess continuing on the UCIA, and I'm sure you remember it, Freeholder Chairman Jalla, when the budget session last year, I came to you and I said, there's a possibility that you could roll the UCIA into the operations of Union County government. I even sent you a letter explaining how, and you could save $600,000 on that alone, and I sent it to you, and to tell you the truth, now it's blowing up in your faces. You have Stender allegedly, doing bad things with, as you listen to the other public members. You had Freeholder Sullivan, who's now the head of the UCIA, him and his stipend scandal, where, it took $80,000 in legal costs just to recoup $50,000 in the pay scandal that he was involved in, which he should be paying the $80,000. But hey, he's connected, so why bother making him pay? Let the taxpayers pay. Well, here it is. You have the opportunity, and there's a budget cycle coming up right now, and you can easily push to, if you want to, I'm asking you, you could easily put the UCIA into the county operations, much like Morris County. I explained that to you a year ago. If you want, I'll send you the documents again if need be. Another thing, just moving along here, talking about I mentioned the budget, but what I would like to know, and for the public record, for the public watching and on camera, and I'd like to hear this from Council Barry. I have yet to hear it. Mirabella, who is a freeholder, is now the BA also at Scotch Plains. I want to hear from Council Barry his legal opinion and the reason behind that as to why that there is no conflict of interest. And the reason why I mentioned the budget is obviously he's going to have to direct Freeholder Mirabella to abstain on the budget. A county freeholder abstaining on the county budget. If not, I'd like to also hear that reason why he wouldn't have to abstain. So here we got many problems, conflicts of interest right here. And that'll segue nicely into what I was reading in the Westfield Leader today, written by Sal Caruana. It's an editorial. He's a former Westfield councilman, and I'll tell you, the way he writes, I'll tell you, it sounds pretty much like the way I speak. In Pig Trough, hiring cronies takes many forms, and he does. He talks about Linda Stender. She's not experienced to be doing the job. Which, by the way, that reminds me, a lot of resolutions you have are for construction management and to architects and engineers and even construction management firms to oversee these projects that are partaken by the county, and yet she's being hired for the same job. That's a duplication, and in my idea, she's probably not even going to show up. So it's just a low show, no show job for her, and God bless her. I want her out of politics. Let her go down to her dream house down the shore. But Caruana writes, and just a couple of items. She ex-Fanwood mayor, current state assemblywoman at a salary of $49,000, was recently hired by a unanimous freeholder vote as deputy director and project manager of the UCIA at a salary of $90,000. Well, it's time to rescind your vote. I see the yellow light, so I really can't move on. But he calls this a cesspool. He calls it a pig trough. To me, I call it a dung heap. We're talking about a dung heap about 6 floors high. You're sitting at the very top of it, Chairman Jala. Can you smell the stench? I believe you have integrity. I think it's time, and I mentioned this in another meeting, you should get together with the Board of Ed, Elizabeth Board of Ed lady, Ammon her name is. Get together, go down to the authorities, and finally expose the seedy underbelly of what's going on in Union County, the rampant waste and the potential corruption that's going on. We're looking at it now. The public is here speaking about it. I believe in you, Chairman Jala. I think you should do the right thing. I believe you can do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I'll formally close that portion of the meeting. On to freeholder reports and comments. We'll start with Freeholder Kowalski.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to let everyone know that our annual Teen Arts Festival is coming up in just a few weeks, and we're looking for community volunteers who would like to work with the artists and teachers and students who are involved with this festival. It's a 2-day celebration of the arts, and it's held at the Union County College in Cranford, sponsored by the Board of Freeholders and our Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs. And this year's Teen Arts Festival is scheduled for Thursday and Friday, March 19th and 20th. It's open to all students from public, charter, private, and parochial middle and high schools in the county. So what volunteers would be asked to do is to assist artists with workshops, manage performance sites, and help staff information stations. We have a number of people who have helped with this in the past. It's a big event. We could use some more volunteers. So if you are interested in helping on either Thursday, March 19th, or Friday the 20th, or both days, please call our Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs, and the phone is 908-558-2550, 908-558-2550, or email their office at culturalinfo@ucnj.org. And I'd like to also add that my thanks to the Juzovic and Gambino family for asking people to make donations to Teen Arts in memory of their son, Justin Juzovic, who died tragically in a car accident last month. Our condolences go out to the family, but we are very grateful that they suggested that people make these donations. They will be helpful in running the festival. We've received some donations already, and they really make a difference. Justin worked on. Justin was very interested in photography. That's why the family thought of Teen Arts. He was featured in past Teen Arts festivals. So, thanks again to those families and condolences. That's it for me.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Carter.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to talk a little bit about a Job Connection newsletter. Job Connection newsletter is a joint venture between the Board of Chosen Freeholders and the Union County College. On a weekly basis, this newsletter is updated, and we also posting it to the county website. We post local job opportunities and employment-related events that are available in and around Union County. Just this week, we included information about 9 local job and career fairs and about 40 local job opportunities. I welcome all residents to take advantage of this great local resource that we have, an opportunity to go to our website, which is www.ucnj.org. If you want to go specifically to the Job Connection, you would just put /Job Connection. We also have a link that is posted on our homepage for you to be able to get there. But we have a lot of information on our website and continuously update on a, if not daily, basis to include all of the activities that we are doing here around the county. And it's a great resource, so please take advantage of it. And we are also posting to many of the social media websites and media channels. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Estrada.
No comments, Mr. Chair.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to talk about our veterans and some discounts that are available to them, make known to the public. Union County businesses are invited to participate in a program to help Union County veterans take advantage of services and discounts that businesses wish to make available to our veterans. The county clerk's office is compiling a booklet that will list all the local stores, agencies, and businesses that offer special discounts on products, foods, entertainment, and service for our military veterans. Local businesses and service providers can send their information with discount and service details to the county clerk's office, and their information will be added to the booklet given to veterans groups and individuals seeking an honorable discharge ID card. The Union County Clerk's Office was the first in the state more than 10 years ago to issue free honorable discharge identification cards for veterans as proof of service in the U.S. Armed Forces. The ID program assists veterans in receiving educational benefits, death benefits, licenses, local property tax rebates, and retail discounts intended for them. Veterans living in Union County can receive a free identification card by bringing their original discharge papers to the Union County Clerk's Office in either Westfield or Elizabeth. Businesses can register their veterans services and discounts online at ucnj.org/county-clerk. So please take advantage of this opportunity, and if you're a business owner, please give back to our veterans. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Hudak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, a couple comments were made regarding Assemblywoman Sender this evening, and I just want to say, as a resident of the city of Linden, I've known Linda for about 14 years. It's very sad what has happened. It was a personal matter that has taken hold of her career at the moment, and it's sad because she has represented the 22nd District with diligence, and as a resident of the city of Linden in the 22nd District, she's always been very responsive to my community. So it's very disappointing to see, and we're sad for her, and we hope she'll be able to work out those personal issues. Couple points that I just wanted to bring up. One, we are wrapping up our February festivities week at Trailside Nature and Science Center, and there was a month full of packed programs. It's been a very harsh winter. Not this past Sunday, but Sunday before that, I very appropriately took my family to a sing-along screening of Frozen, and it was very frozen outside. However, it was also very well attended, and not only was it, we actually managed to get outside. There was a demo of dog sled racing. It was a very good day. A lot of kids had a very good time, and talking to our staff and Patty Birch, who's the director over there, a lot of folks came through in this very cold and harsh weather for good family fun and learning at Trailside Museum, so that's a very positive thing. It's a wonderful center, and unfortunately it doesn't appear that the cold weather is going away, so take advantage of it this weekend and coming weekends. Finally, the governor had his budget address earlier this week, and it was very disturbing that not once did he mention the road funding crisis in the state of New Jersey. I believe over 6,000 bridges were reported being either structurally deficient or functionally obsolete. New Jersey ranks 6th in the nation. Strangely, I guess it didn't matter because much farther behind New Hampshire or Iowa. However, yeah, there you go. I just wanted to bring to the attention of our residents that 3% of Union County bridges, that's 19, are structurally deficient. 17%, that's about 104, are functionally obsolete. Their average age is 49 years old, and it would cost $194 million to fix them. Several of those 19 structurally deficient. I drove on my way to this meeting, and I will be driving on the way home tonight. That is a very sobering thought. We never really think of a bridge until it does not work. And I urge the governor to seriously take up his responsibility to make sure that our Transportation Trust Fund is properly funded, because at the moment it's running broke. We will not be able to fund new road and bridge projects in Union County or the state of New Jersey for that matter. And at a time when our infrastructure is crumbling, I believe it deserves the utmost attention of our state legislators. And I know many locally that care very much about that and are giving its due attention, but it is not getting the attention of the person who ultimately authored our budget and is responsible for implementing those programs. So I plead to the governor to quit this dereliction of duty. I know he's very busy campaigning in other states, but we have an infrastructure crisis here in Union County. And I know, talking to some of my colleagues on the Freeholder board, we're hoping to have, a program in place through the budget this year. I've, mentioned to the chairman, we've been discussing through the fiscal committee of trying to find a way to boost infrastructure locally, since it appears that Trenton will be doing nothing, which is very sad for our residents. But again, just think about it. No one thinks about a bridge until it doesn't work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Wright.
Thank you, Chairman. On behalf of the Freeholder Board, I would like to invite our Union County residents who are 18 years and older to a lecture about the bee colony crisis on Tuesday, March the 3rd, from 7 to 8 p.m. at Trailside Nature and Science Center in Mountainside. The bee colony collapse disorder has had a harmful impact on many agricultural crops worldwide, In our own country, the decline of the bee population has significantly increased the cost to farmers. Tim Schuler, the New Jersey State apiarist, will lecture on 3 causes of trauma to the European honeybee. Enhanced by a PowerPoint presentation, the lecture will define the ecological problems we face, the impact on the beekeepers industry, and how professional beekeepers and hobbyists have responded to this crisis. The program is free, but donations are welcome. Pre-registration is recommended, but walk-ins are welcome. Trailside Nature Science Center is located at 452 New Providence Road in Mountainside and is a service of the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders. For more information about this lecture and other activities at Trailside, call 908-789-3670 or visit ucnj.org/trailside. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Deputy County Manager, any comments?
No comments, Mr. Chairman.
County Council?
No comments, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Vice Chairman Byrd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier this month, I was joined by my colleagues Freeholder Kowalski and Freeholder Wright, as I had an opportunity to speak at a press conference with Senator Bob Menendez when he announced that the Army Corps of Engineers has committed substantial funds to move forward with the mitigation process for flooding along the Rawway River Basin, which flows through Union, Essex, and Middlesex counties. Also speaking there were State Senator Raymond Lesniak, Sheriff Joseph Cryan, and a number of local government elected officials. In case people haven't heard, at that time it was announced that the federal government had committed $1 million towards a key study in moving this project forward. 500,000 of that is in immediate Army Corps funds, and another 500,000 was to be committed in the President's fiscal year 2016 budget. With matching funds from the New Jersey DEP, which are already committed dollar for dollar, that means that there will be $2 million available, which should be sufficient to complete this study and hopefully get us to the point where the project can be approved and some actual construction work can begin. I don't need to tell anyone who lives within the areas affected, particularly Cranford and Springfield, but also Kenilworth, Union, and Rawway, how important it is that this work begins as soon as possible. This Freeholder Board has worked with the municipalities for many years and has committed funding to help address the flooding problems on a local basis. But at this point, this flooding has gotten worse, it's a significant problem, and there clearly needs to be a regional approach. I want to thank Senator Menendez for his leadership in bringing these funds to the effort and providing prospects of a more secure, stable future for Union County, our citizens and businesses, and all of the affected communities. Over the next several months, there will be ongoing meetings to try and push the study forward and take steps so that once that study is complete, the project can be submitted to Congress for funding, and hopefully we can get the work beginning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. May I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor?
Aye.